Take a second and think about your office. You know that one person, the one who gets in earliest, leaves latest, sends emails at 11 p.m., and never lets anyone forget how slammed they are. Always busy, always stressed, always grinding, and yet they never get the big promotion. But someone else does. The person who quietly logs off at 5, who never seems overwhelmed, who just moves differently through the building. How does that happen? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The corporate world doesn't reward hard work. It rewards leverage. And most people have no idea what that even means. Smart employees treat their career like chess. Everyone else is playing checkers, running faster, working louder, hoping someone notices. The chess players are 3 moves ahead, making quiet, strategic decisions that nobody sees until it's too late. Here are the 12 moves they make. Move 1. They manage their manager. Most employees treat their boss like a teacher. Wait for the assignment. Do the assignment. Wait for the grade. Repeat. Smart employees flip that completely. They study their manager like a hawk. What keeps them up at night? What's the one task they always dread? Maybe it's building the weekly report deck. Maybe it's updating the client database. Maybe it's wrangling everyone for a cross-team meeting. Once they spot that pain point, they quietly take it over. No asking for permission. They just start doing it, and they do it perfectly. Suddenly, you're not just an employee anymore. You're the person your boss depends on to survive. That's a completely different relationship, and it changes everything. Move 2. Keep a secret brag folder. Here's something nobody tells you about performance reviews. Your manager doesn't remember what you did 6 months ago. There's a psychological bias called recency bias. Our brains automatically prioritize recent events and basically delete everything before that. So when December rolls around and it's time for your review, your boss isn't thinking about that massive crisis you saved in February. They're thinking about the small mistake you made last Tuesday. Smart employees fix this problem before it starts. Every time they crush a project, land a compliment from a client, or hit a key metric, they screenshot it and drop it in a private folder. When raise season comes, they don't walk in saying, "I feel like I've been working really hard." They walk in with a printed document showing exactly what they delivered, in dollars and data, over the past 12 months. You can't argue with receipts. Move 3. Build alliances across departments. Most people only know their own team. Marketing people eat lunch with marketing people. Everyone else is either irrelevant or the enemy. Smart employees go wider. They grab coffee with the analyst in finance. They're cool with the IT guys. They actually know what legal is dealing with. And it pays off in ways most people never expect. When you have a friend in finance, you hear about potential layoffs months before the announcement. When IT likes you, your laptop gets fixed in 20 minutes instead of 2 weeks. And when senior leaders from other departments genuinely vouch for you during a promotion discussion, that's an advantage nobody else in your department even has. Real corporate power isn't vertical, it's horizontal. Move 4. Speak last. Watch what happens in a typical meeting. The moment a problem gets introduced, hands shoot up. People interrupt each other. Half-finished ideas get thrown around just so someone's voice is in the room. Now, watch the most powerful person there. Nelson Mandela once said that his approach to leadership came from watching tribal chiefs in his youth. The chief always spoke last. Always. Smart employees do the same thing. They sit back. They let everyone else talk, argue, and show their blind spots. While the room is burning energy, they're quietly gathering information, reading the politics, and putting the full picture together. Then, right at the end, when the room goes quiet, they deliver a calm, clear summary of everything that was said, followed by one clean, actionable solution. You don't need to be the loudest person in the meeting to be seen as the smartest. You just need to be the last. Move 5. Stay completely out of the gossip. Every office has one. The group chat, the break room circle, the whisper network. And yeah, it feels good to vent. It feels like bonding. It's almost fun. But smart employees know it's a trap. Think about it this way. If you're sitting there enthusiastically listening to Sarah talk trash about John, what have you just proven? That you cannot be trusted with information. Because if you'll do it to John, you'll do it to Sarah too. Everybody knows that. Smart employees go neutral. When the conversation turns toxic, they politely step away. They never put complaints in writing. They never forward a shady email. Over time, they build a reputation as someone who's completely above the drama. And when executives need to trust someone with something confidential, they don't pick the gossips. They pick the vault. Move 6. Preempt the annual review. Here's a secret that will change how you think about performance cycles. Most companies lock in their budgets for raises and promotions in September or October. The December review is basically a formality. The decision is already made. If you're finding out in December that you've been missing key metrics all year, you've already lost. The money's been allocated somewhere else. Smart employees don't wait. In June or July, they proactively schedule a mid-year check-in and ask their manager one specific question. What exact metrics do I need to hit between now and December to guarantee a top rating? That forces a real, measurable answer. If there's a problem, they find out in June, giving them 6 months to fix it. By the time the official review happens, it's not a conversation, it's a confirmation. Move 7. Own one specific thing nobody else can do. Being good at a lot of things sounds great. It's actually dangerous. If you're decent at writing, okay at spreadsheets, and fine at managing projects, congratulations, you're replaceable. The company can hire someone just like you tomorrow for 20% less. Smart employees find a niche and own it completely. They become the person for something specific and difficult, the only one in the building who truly knows the CRM system, or who holds the relationship with the company's most important client. They pick the thing that's vital, complex, and that everyone else avoids because it's too painful to learn. And then they master it. When a company can't function without you for something critical, you can't be laid off. And you set your own price. Move 8. Never bring a problem without a solution. 2 employees hit the same roadblock. The vendor is late. The shipment isn't coming. Employee A walks into the manager's office and says, "We have a problem. The vendor's delayed. What should we do?" Employee B walks in and says, "The vendor's delayed. I've already put together 3 options. Option A costs a little more, but keeps us on schedule. Option B saves money but pushes the deadline 2 days. Option C uses an alternative supplier I've already contacted. I recommend option A. Want me to move on it?" One of those employees is handing the stress back. The other is doing completed staff work, thinking through the full problem, presenting real options and only asking for a yes or a no. Guess which one gets promoted. Move 9. Protect your time like it's a limited resource, because it is. The harsh reality of being good at your job is that people will keep piling more on you. Say yes to everything, and you'll eventually become the office dumping ground. You'll burn out, and ironically, the work that actually matters, the work that gets you promoted, starts to suffer. Smart employees say no strategically, not rudely. Strategically, when they're being overloaded, they use what I call the prioritization pivot. Instead of refusing, they say, "Happy to take this on. Right now I'm heads down on the Q3 client launch you said was the priority. Do you want me to pause that and switch to this instead, or should we keep the current order?" That one question forces the manager to confront the overload themselves. 9 times out of 10, they find someone else to do it. Move 11. Max out the invisible compensation. Most people look at their paycheck and call it their compensation. Smart people look at the full picture. Companies offer a ton of wealth-building tools that the majority of employees just ignore. If your company matches your 401k and you're not contributing enough to get the full match, you are literally leaving free money on the table. Every single paycheck. Go deeper. Use the education stipend. Take a course. Get a certification. Make yourself more valuable. Use the wellness benefits. Understand the employee stock purchase plan. Know what you're actually entitled to. Your salary is the floor. Everything else is money the company will give you, if you just know to ask. Move 12. Leave like a professional. Every single time. Eventually you'll outgrow the role. When that day comes, how you leave matters just as much as everything you did while you were there. Average employees slack off during their 2 weeks. They write passive-aggressive Glassdoor reviews. They leave a mess. Smart employees know the professional world is tiny. The manager you burn on the way out might be interviewing you somewhere else in 5 years. So when it's time to go, They leave with class. They express genuine gratitude. They build detailed handover documents. They train their replacement. They make sure the team is set up for success even after they're gone. They don't burn bridges. They build monuments. And the result? Years later, when they want to come back at a director level, the door is already open. That's the boomerang effect. And it works. Look, building an unstoppable career isn't about grinding harder than everyone else. It's about being smarter. It's emotional intelligence, strategic positioning, and knowing which moves to make before anyone else sees the board. If this hit different, subscribe to FinSmart Daily. Drop a comment below. Which one of these 12 moves are you starting tomorrow? I read every single one. See you in the next video.